evening, good morrow, and good day, and welcome to another campaign diary and Q&A here on Slice and Dice, talking all about things that happened in session 31, but also speaking more broadly about some other stuff that we've been up to here on the channel and what we've got coming up in the future. First of all, as you can see in the box on my left and your right, right at the moment running a competition to win a month's adventurer subscription for free on the channel. All you got to do is write #adventurer in the chat to enter. So I announced this on Monday. Our subscription package along with sub perks and all the rest of it for our Twitch channel has now been released. It's there for you to observe. If you are watching us live on Twitch, scroll down on there. If you're watching us on YouTube, find our Twitch channel. There's a link to it on our YouTube channel, and then you could subscribe. And there are 3 tiers of subscription. So first of all, at $4.99 a month, which is the adventurer subscription, in which you get all of the basic perks and some fun stuff, including you got emotes. So you get your first ever emote, which you can use on the chat here and anywhere else on Twitch. You can use that emote. You have access to that. The first one is Jack Time. You also get a loyalty badge as well, and depending on the length of your subscription will dictate what badge you can get. The most amount you could subscribe is 12 months, and for that you get the Slice and Dice or S&D Gold badge, which is pretty cool if you don't mind me saying so myself. I've put all those together. Basically, they're all different colours and shades of kind of a stencil version of our logo. You can see it down there, or right here. It's like a stencil version of this, and the best one being the year's subscription is gold, and the rest all in different colours. And as well as that, there's plenty of other reasons to subscribe. Those are just 2 of them, but obviously there are the higher tiers as well. So there's the hero tier, which is $9.99 a month. That's $9.99 per month, and included in that one, as well as all the stuff you get in the adventurer pack, you also get a copy of our wonderful map, which you've seen throughout the stream. You'll get a PDF version of the entire map of the many lands, and you can see behind me as well, behind the video display. So you get that whole map in PDF form for you to do with as you wish. You could print it, put it on your wall. You could use it in post yourself. It's yours to do with as you please, but you get access to that on the $9.99 subscription, on the hero subscription, and then tier 3, which is the $24.99. That's $24.99 per month subscription. That's the demigod tier, and as well as getting the map, the emotes, you get an extra emote at the second tier. You get a third emote at the demigod tier, and and all the other stuff you get with the adventure and hero packs. But also you get basically create a character, where I will send you basically a form to fill in, where you can design your very own character that will be featured in our campaign. So really exciting, first of all, to get your creations into our game. It's going to be really good fun to do that. Also included with that, I will be periodically sending out adventure PDFs, so those are adventures that I've written, which the adventures, some of them I've used in the campaign already, and they'll be putting those up. Eventually I'm going to be getting around to releasing those elsewhere, like Drive-Thru RPG and so on, but you'll get them for free with a demigod subscription, so I'll be periodically sending those out to our demigod subscribers. That's probably enough of a plug on that, but for now, to get to experience being a subscriber to the channel for free for 1 month, just write #adventure in the chat. Now you're going to have plenty of time to do that today, because it's a very special day. Going to be doing a very special one-off stream. This is a bit off the cuff, and hopefully I'll have everything set up in time for 7 p.m. But basically, as today is, we've had 2 birthdays this week with players from the channel. We had Marshall earlier this week, and it's Marta's birthday today. So for both of those players, I have designed official Teespring merch, which is now live on our Teespring merch store. There's a link to that on our Twitch channel as well, that you can order those for yourself, because they're now on wide release. There's a t-shirt dedicated to Neris with it just says, I could set it on fire, and there's flames. And then for Marshall, for Leobrin, it's got a picture of a ruff with some heroes wear ruffs. So you can show your support for your favourite character from the stream so far. You can buy some merch with their sort of their emblem on it on our merch store right now. And with Martha's birthday in mind, because it's today, crazy times, she has organised a stream that we're going to be doing some gaming. We're going to be playing Prop Hunt, Unreal Tournament 99, as well as some other stuff as well. Not just because it's her birthday, but also we're kind of teaming this up and making this more of a charity based stream, and the reason for that is of course everything that's going on in the world at the moment with coronavirus and the rest of it. We've decided that actually we really want to do some good whilst we're stuck here at home, and so we are going to be there's going to be a charity stream. There is a link to a charity which I think is doing really good work and is certainly means a lot to the players as well, and Martha included in that. And there's details all on that on the Twitch channel. I put it at the top of the page, just below the video, so you should be able to see it just below me. But basically, this organisation, I think it's, I'm going to get their name wrong because this all happened today, but basically they provide, they're basically at the moment providing food for those most vulnerable and at risk during this time of the outbreak. So they are making food and plant-based food and getting it delivered over to them, which I'm sure you can appreciate is a great thing to do, and you know, really means a lot at this time, especially for those who are completely cut off and isolated, just to know that, you know, your neighbours are watching out for you. So please show your support by donating through Crowdfunder. There's a link to that. All you've got to do is click the picture that says Crowdfunder on it, and it will take you directly to their page. I'm just going to now double check their name, because I think it's like We Are Hackney or something like that. I just don't want to get it wrong. Because they're doing such good work. Just bring up the page now. But yeah, basically the idea is that we're going to be streaming in aid of that to hopefully raise money to get aid out to those who most need it at this time. And it looks like we're getting pretty close. They're getting pretty close to their goals already. So hopefully they'll be able to hit their target by the end of today. That would be fantastic. So yeah, if you want to donate, please click the picture and come and watch us and support us as we stream tonight. So that's going to be starting from 7. So I'm hoping to have everything set up on here ready to go by the time that happens, which means that I of course will not be gibbering on here about the campaign so far until 7 PM because I need some time to set up. So yeah, we'll keep this as short as possible. But finally, before I get on to what happened in Monday's session, just to say, as I highlighted then, that we're going to have some changes here on the channel. Not anything that hopefully will cause too many issues. There will of course be teething issues because this is all new to us, but the adventure will go on regardless. Basically what we're going to be doing is, because of the situation in the world at the moment, because of the not enforced lockdown necessarily, but because of the advice to stay at home, we have decided that at least for the time being, as a temporary measure, we will be streaming the campaign remotely. So I'll be here, but the rest of the players will not be in the room with me. They'll be at their various homes. They will be streaming from their homes, so they'll be using webcams. We'll be linking up, and then I'll be sharing that here on the stream so that you can see it all live. It won't be perfect. It'll be, I think, a little rough around the edges. It's going to be slightly different as well because we're going to have to enforce a few other disciplines, such as not talking over each other and so on. So it may be a bit chaotic at first, but I'm hoping that we did a test yesterday and it went fairly well. So I'm hoping that things should run nice and smoothly come Monday. But of course, your support is most welcome, particularly at this time. So yeah, let us know your thoughts and any constructive feedback you have from the new setup, because obviously I'm very open to taking advice on how to better improve our streaming potential and just our output in general, our videos, because after all, we make these for you, so want to make sure you're enjoying them, basically. Okay, so I think that's all the announcements out the way. So, about this week's session. So, the name of the game really, with session 30, originally it was meant to be, this little side quest was meant to be kind of to commemorate that we'd reached 30 sessions here on the channel, so I wanted to have a fun little adventure with a big boss, just a big kind of beat 'em up fun fight. But as things normally go when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons campaign, people tend to get a bit sidetracked with other things, and we never seem to get quite as far as I anticipate the game will. So that has meant that basically that whole encounter spilled over into this week's session. However, it wasn't entirely without purpose, because I think my concept behind this encounter with the Banderhob, which if you haven't heard of, is a monster you can find in Volo's Guide to Monsters. But essentially, it's like a ogre size, so about 8 feet tall, like a giant bipedal toad that supposedly in myth would abduct children by like swallowing them and then holding them within their stomach, and then would bring them out later unharmed, so not actually like digested or anything like that. They would work for or be summoned by other beings and be used for that. Now I've done a kind of twist on that with this one, because this creature was not originally a Banderhob. They were in fact something else, and the secret to that lies in the tome, the ciphered journal, which our players have picked up and which currently Leobrin is trying to decipher. The secrets to that creature as original form come from that book, and how they've ended up being a Banderhob also is revealed in the book. So I'm not going to give too much away at the moment, but that tome is very important. So foreshadowing was really the name of the game with this Banderhob and its lair and the troglodytes that are working alongside it. Basically, it was trying to be evocative of, basically to remind the players and remind the characters that they still have one of their own party missing. And so thoughts should turn to Neris at this time, who has been missing for a while. She herself was abducted. They don't know by who, but she certainly was, and replaced by a doppelganger, which was posing as her. And obviously that's not good at all. And it's been quite some time, because obviously the party have been sidetracked with the main sort of quest line, that being stopping the werewolf plot, stopping the nobles of Burikrin being turned into werewolves, which they eventually managed to stop, but they now have 2 nobles and 1 party member who have lycanthropy and can turn into werewolves at certain moments. So there is some cause for alarm there, but more or less that plot has been solved, and now it's thoughts turning really to reuniting the party and getting Neris back. So this was meant to be a sort of precursor to that, just to remind them that somebody's missing. There's sort of the child being this naive and innocent, and in a sense you've got Neris, who is herself a teenager, although in elven years, so she's quite old in human years, but she's basically a teenager. And so the youngest, the most youthful of the party, and arguably, not naive, but arguably the most innocent of the party, has then been abducted as herself. So there's meant to be some reminders there of her, some similarities there, and to what fate she may have befallen her. We've yet to find out, but we'll be certainly touching on that in the next session on Monday. Because 2 of the nobles which the party saved have contracted lycanthropy, the party are now looking to try and solve that problem by taking them to the nearest temple. And as they're going to Hero's Landing on the way back home, because home for the party currently is Hilberg, a little I was going to say mining town. It's not a mining town, but certainly it is an entrepreneurial market town. So they're going to be heading back there. But first of all, they're going to be because they have been told by the doppelganger that Nerys is somewhere near Hilberg, but it hasn't revealed where. So the way back leads them through Hero's Landing, which they went through on the way, which is more of a sort of fishing large village or small town, which they stayed in on the way. It was very pleasant, and they are looking to go to the temple there to try and cure the three werewolves that they have, the two nobles who are cursed with lycanthropy, and of course their own party member Fleeting Look. But as has been established before, they were given one bottle of cure curse, a very rare item. They were given it before they left Hilberg. It's very rare to the point that they were told that there was only one, and it had been in the possession of the council there in Hilberg for several years, like we're talking decades it had been there. So the likelihood of finding another one, pretty slim to none, possibly. They're hoping that there are characters of a high enough level that can perform a remove curse spell or similar. But I would say, given lycanthropy as curses go, is one of the most famous, I'd say, in the D&D verse, but also one of the most revered, I guess. It is one of the flagship curses, and so it needs to be treated slightly differently to just having bestow curse put upon a creature. It needs to be treated slightly differently, and so the cure for it is also going to be slightly different. So a cure curse potion will do, but I'm not sure they'll be able to find any more. So doing the spell, will it work? I guess we'll have to find out. And in addition to that, there may well be other ways of curing the curse, and this was also alluded to right at the end of the session on Monday by the old one, by the voice, the disembodied voice that that Seth hears from the coin that seems to be following him, and even when he tries to get rid of that coin, it reappears back in his possession. This particular entity, otherworldly entity, seems to believe, or has at least hinted very strongly at Seth, that he may well be able to remove the curse. After all, it was due to that voice, that being, that Nerys herself was brought back to life after being felled by Dark Mantles back in episode 13. So clearly this being has power enough to bring things back from the dead, so removing a curse you think shouldn't be such a problem. But what will the price be for Seth saving his friend, were he to do so? Well, that would be telling, wouldn't it? But there certainly are plans in motion, and we'll see if they come to fruition. I should say another big plot point, actually, and another thing that meant that this bit with the Banderhob over the last session was not a complete throwaway side quest, was the appearance of the glass orb, the crystal ball, which Leobryn had been tasked with finding by the elderly lady, the grandmother at the Weary Traveller, the inn at Hero's Landing, which they're about to arrive back in. He was told that the lady, and her name was well, I've forgotten her name. Marshall's remember her name because he wrote it down, I'm pretty sure. Morag, that was it. Morag had tasked Leobryn with finding this crystal ball for her sister. Hasn't revealed who her sister is, I think, but she lost that crystal ball and she needs it. And if Leobryn were to find it, apparently his patron, his lady, the one that he looks for approval for, will know, and that's it seems quite concerning to Leobryn that this woman, this fortune teller that he'd never met before, seemed to know all about his patron, the Fey, sort of Fey, I want to say princess, but no, the Fey noble, Lady Aranth, yes, Lady Aranth First Blooming. Apparently she would know if Leobryn found the item and returned it to the sister. Apparently it seems to have some connection to the Fey, which Leobryn, wanting to impress, of course, his patron, and also wanting to be, you know, a do-gooder, be a hero, but also being very wary and cautious. And I'm not sure whether that's maybe martial bleeding through, but it certainly seems to be part of Leobryn's character, that because he's quite fragile, he tends to be quite careful, and so the caution kind of, I think a few red flags were raised. Suddenly, oh, knows who I am, knows about the Feywild, knows about the Fey, worrying. What does this mean? Yeah, but nonetheless has agreed to do this and find this crystal ball, and it just so happens that that this was ingested by the Banderhob, and so has appeared before him. All very strange indeed. But there are threads that are flying around, and they may well interject at places. We shall see. So he's now got that crystal ball, and the next thing is to find the sister. We'll see if he's successful in that endeavour next time, I guess. So where we've left things for next time is that the group are now heading to a temple to see if they can get the curses removed on their charges, and hopefully they'll be successful. If not, don't know what the next plan is going to be for them. But basically, it's solve that and then get back to Hilberg and find Nerys, because I think, as Marta will be joining us in the next session with Nerys, we'll finally get to see a bit of where Nerys has been this time. Although the characters won't know, outside Nerys herself, know where she is or any of her experiences. The players will, and it'll be a good reminder to see that she's in danger, but also sort of what she's been up to, and catch her up, I guess, mechanically on experience points as well. But it'll be nice to finally sort of unveil that kind of secretive bit, because we've tucked her aside for probably 10 or so sessions now. It'll be really nice to kind of come back to her, see what's happened with her, and just kind of remind the rest of the party of the ticking clock, which is, you know, getting Nerys back, because she's been taken for a reason. Although that reason may not be clear, it can't be a good one. Anyway, so that's the plan for the party going forward. They still have the stone statue in their charge of Lady Helene Grenforth, which I would guess they would also hope to be revived at some point, as she has been petrified and turned to stone. So if they can get that petrification removed, that would be particularly handy. And then I think the only other plot point at this point, I'm sure the party have others that they'll remind me of, but aside from all those ones, there is also Seth with his monster hunting and wanting to get the bits of the basilisk sent over to his charge, his patron, which is the cloaked man, the man who wore a cloak and yet he hadn't seen the face of, but he had once seen a mask below. Interesting. Speaking of masks, Leobryn found a mask, a gilded vizard, in possession of the assassin, which was sort of behind the werewolf plot. Which apparently is part of the Guild of the Many Masks, based in Isk. As I said, threads weaving around each other. Could be some connections there I may have just given away. Anyway, so there's things up in the air, which we've got a few things going on, but the main focus right now is for the party to find Nerys and get her back. So we'll see how they do with that on Monday, and we'll see how we all cope with talking to each other over webcams rather than in the flesh over the next few weeks. As I said at the beginning, I really appreciate you guys' support here on the channel. Know the players do as well. A big thank you to our most recent followers. So that's Lindy the Panther and Sky12121. Thank you both for following the channel. And if you'd like to follow us as well, and you'd like to not only follow us here on Twitch, but want to be involved with the banter and the chat and so on throughout the week as well, you can of course join our Discord, and you can do so. There is a link to our Discord further down our Twitch page. Just click on the picture with Discord on it, and you'll be invited through to join. I look forward to chatting to you all then. Thank you so much. Come join me in just under an hour now for our very special charity stream. Until then, guys, stay safe.